welcome to the Brownback attack. I'm Rufus Brownback. Nation, as you may know, I make a point of personally checking all emails sent to the show, except for anything from my ex-girlfriend. Cindy, we were young, we were stupid, and we were about to hibernate. Let it go. Tonight's email comes from Whitney Anderson, a human from Portland, Maine. Whitney writes, "Dear Rufus, you're so quick to detail Stephen Colbert's flaws that you seem to willfully overlook his obvious attributes. For instance, you've never once mentioned that Stephen is a surrogate father." Thanks, Whitney, for your email. I suppose you're referring to Stephen Jr., Stephen Colbert's adopted bald eagle. Well, you bring up an interesting point. Who is this Stephen Jr., and what do we really know about him? To answer that question, we've invited a few guests on tonight's program. We have with us the junior senator from Washington State, Gary Arnold.
Thanks for having me, Rufus.
We also have wildlife expert Karen Allison.
Hello, I'm happy to be here.
And we have an American bald eagle named Crane.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Thank you all for joining me. Let's begin with you, Senator. What has your experience with Stephen Jr. been?
Well, having Stephen Jr. spend so much time here in Washington has been a wonderful thing for the state. The presence of a bald eagle has been great publicity for us.
Now, bald eagles are typically quite camera shy. Has Stephen Jr. expressed any reluctance at being a Washington State tourist attraction?
No, I don't think Stephen Jr. minds the attention at all. He'll stop by during our events, perch himself. He'll sit, he'll eat with us, take pictures with us, all on his own accord.
Well, I'm sure. Okay, now let's turn to wildlife expert Dr. Karen Allison. Now, Doctor, you've been monitoring Stephen Jr.'s movements ever since he left Stephen Colbert's care, correct?
Yes, we monitor bald eagles throughout the Northwest. We keep track of their diet, their flight patterns, their plumage, all sorts of things.
And would you call Stephen Jr. a healthy bird?
Well, his disposition is generally normal, but his activities are a bit unusual because of his fame. We are a bit concerned about his diet and his plumage.
Why is that?
Well, while he was with Mr. Colbert, he was fed nothing but raw meat and popcorn. After he left Colbert's care, he was rather overweight and quite gassy.
So would you say that for Mr. Colbert, Stephen Jr. is more of a political accessory than a real responsibility?
I'm not interested in politics. My role here is strictly scientific.
Yes. Okay, now let's turn to Crane, a male bald eagle from the Pacific Northwest. Now, Crane, you say that you knew Stephen Jr. personally.
Oh yeah, we knew each other.
Okay, and where did you meet?
Well, there's a certain type of bluff that birds of a certain feather flock together towards. I'm sure I don't have to tell you exactly what goes on atop Mount Baldy.
Well, I think maybe you do.
Well, let's just say you don't go to Mount Baldy to follow the freshwater fish.
Okay, so when you met Stephen,
I approached him on the bluff. I thought he was pretty good looking for a bird. Then he asked me if I wanted to drop worms with him, so we did.
Hallucinogenic worms?
Is there any other kind?
Where did he get the worms?
Well, I don't know. Probably some gardener up in the Bay Area. We didn't really do a lot of squawking, all right? I think he was just expecting me to be overawed by him because he was famous. But I will tell you this. Hot damn! What a beak on that bird.
Okay, Congressman.
Wait. I'd like to say something. We've all seen opportunity-hungry birds like this one who'll do anything for a shot at fame, even besmirch someone else's name. It is absolutely abhorrible and disgusting.
Crane.
I'm just telling you what happened up on that bluff, Congressman.
Congressman.
You are a vulture, sir. That is what you are.
Dr. Allison, care to respond?
I don't want to get political, but I will say that the wildlife experts know about Mount Baldy.
Okay, that's all the time we have. Thank you so much for coming. Well, it seems like the more we find out about Stephen Jr., the more questions we have. One thing at least is for certain. America, like its national symbol, is far more complicated than the likes of Stephen Colbert would have you believe. Thank you. Good night.